Okay, I'd like to take a couple moments to explain the future of a couple different things. Hang on. Turn that down so I don't get YouTube copyright. First one being my hair. Okay, so let me explain what the fuck happened to that. How to put this? There's no easy way to put. I went and got a haircut and they decided that they got lazy. That's just what I'm gonna say. So I said, yeah, take about inch and a half, maybe 2 tops. And so the girl shows me like, oh yeah, this one's what. I'm like, yeah, that works. And it was like, well, I don't have any hair to show you, so it was like that much maybe. Obviously I have like that much. And so she starts cutting with the scissor things, and she's like, snip, snip, oh my god, yeah, this looks great. And then randomly pulls out fucking, I don't know, I don't remember what they're called actually, clippers, I guess. Electric clippers, I don't know. And, starts just fucking practically buzz cutting my hair. So that's the story with that. I don't know why she decided, she's like, is this what you want? And I'm like, no, not really, to be honest, but whatever, I guess. Unless you want to glue my hair back in place, there's not much I can do. Now, to be fair, I wasn't 100% pissed off because I wasn't paying for the haircut, so. But anyways, that aside, why am I not on my motorcycle like I said I was going to be at 12 in the morning? Because it's kind of cold for some reason. And I'm not awake. Normally I'd be taking my brother to school right about now. But due to the other oh wow, this is gonna be tough. I can barely see the car next to me. I'm just gonna get it. Anyways, well, yeah, it's cold, and let's see, the bikes don't like to run in the cold, so I figured, fuck it, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a video in my car. Oh shit, this guy's turning. Anyways, so that aside, and an answer to the motorcycle thing, let's try to see if I can answer a couple questions about SimGrounds. SimGrounds is going to stay online in the foreseeable future. And I know I'm kind of quoting Bucket, but the difference is I own SimGrounds 100% right now, and I'm continuing to make plans to keep that online. So let's get that clear. There is no co-owner of SimGrounds, okay? There's co-operators. But no co-owner. Just, so, it's just me. SimGrounds is privately owned, everything else. We are planning on doing a couple joke domains, but that's later. SimGrounds' income is based solely on my job, which means that, let's see, I don't make any ad revenue from the non-existent website. I don't make really enough to do anything from my YouTube. I don't make anything really from my YouTube, actually. So anything extra comes from donations. By the way, 99% of which does go towards the server. But anyways, moving on. So Bucket is pretty much dead. It looks like. I don't see much chance of it coming back. And what that means for Minecraft, what that means for me, what that means for Microsoft, Mojang. Let's just start with what it means for me. What it means for me is I've got to work my ass off and find an alternative, which I'm already doing. What it means, oh, I forgot to ask what it means for you. What it means for you is people like me, and by by people like me, I mean server owners, if they don't find an alternative, Minecraft as you know it, at least if you play multiplayer, which I know a lot of you do, is dead. What it means for Microsoft is a terrible return on investment. As in, their $2.5 billion they paid, yeah, it's not coming back. So, and then what it means for Mojang. Well, Mojang is owned by Microsoft, so it doesn't really mean shit for them. They could care less, I guess. Now, theoretically, Microsoft owns the Bucket Project, but from what I've seen, it's not looking like they care. So who knows? Hello, traffic. That problem in a nutshell. Now, obviously server owners are going to make every effort in the world to be really loud in a car. No, I'm kidding. Obviously server owners are going to make every effort in their power to try and keep online, because you get servers, and I've never played on some of these, like the big name servers that I can't even remember the name, like Hypixel I think is one. You get these servers like this, and they paid thousands upon thousands of dollars to accomplish these servers, like acquire the hardware for them. I should have went that way, whatever. So it's not a laughing matter. I mean, my server's only about $100, but my old server, which went to .com, was the hardware I know was probably worth $2 or $3 grand. I don't know, I didn't own it. I rented it and paid that much. Another thing to consider is there's a lot of hosting companies, like pre-built companies. Doggy! Sorry, I didn't mean to honk at the dog, but whatever. I don't know if you heard that, but I do have an Uga horn. Working on getting that on my bike. Person. Hello, person. Anyways. So, let's see, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, there's these companies that host Minecraft servers for people. What would happen to them? Oh, hello, Jerica. What would happen to them? Well, they would just vanish. That's all there is to it. There would be nothing else. She's just like, what the fuck, man? Jerica's Anthony's sister. Or one of them. So yeah, they would vanish. They have thousands of dollars in servers, obviously. And that wouldn't be good for them, so they're... I'm losing my train of thought because I'm trying to make sure she gets to what I would assume would be work and not stop and talk to me. I mean, for the record, she's like 21 or 22, and I'm obviously starting to turn 19 in December. And I don't really have an interest, but we're friends, and I don't know. I care about Anthony's family. So anyways, back to what I was saying. Oh yeah. So these entire businesses would crumple, and some of them are worth a couple million, if not a lot more than that. So it's all kind of not good. But most importantly, for Mojang, is it would mean they would lose a lot of money. And by a lot, I mean more than $2.5 billion, because they're paying people to manage this shit. So, hello, bump. So that's what a lot of people aren't quite understanding. Is that it means more probably in Microsoft than it does you, me, or anyone else. And I've heard a lot of people saying that the only answer for Microsoft would be Realm, so you can't run private servers. I was spinning for a bit there. But the reality is, even if they did make Microsoft Realms, or sorry, not Microsoft, Mojang, or Minecraft, there we go, there's the word, microcraft. I like that word. The issue is nobody wants to pay for them. I mean, we already have servers. Why would we pay for other ones? So, oh wow, this trailer's out a lot. Holy shit. Yeah, yesterday actually I was, let's see, there was like a cement truck here, and I think it was a bulldozer over here, in this tiny space. Well, I have a tiny car, so I was going through it, and apparently I pissed a bunch of people off doing that. I don't know how. I guess lane splitting with your car isn't legal or something, I don't know. But anyways, back to what it is. So Microsoft, I'm sorry, I don't quite see them just blowing up their investment by making it Realms only. Oh, they had the same idea as me. This isn't exactly legal. I keep losing my train of thought because I'm trying to think of where I need to go, which is nowhere. I mean, I have the day off work. Maybe I will go to work. Maybe I'll just visit. Anyways. So, stay on topic. Oh shit. My thumb caught my wheel. We're good over here? Yes, we are. First gear. Anyways, Realms is a great idea in my opinion when it came out. And then I found out it was paid. But Realms is what I thought Minecraft would be. A central-based server owned by, well, I guess Microsoft in this case, that, you know, you bought the game and voila, you could play. The reality of it is, that's not quite the case. I've never been down that road. Maybe I will be in a moment. So, if Microsoft were to make it Realms only, the only downside to me would be that it's paid. It's not free. Haha, I'm going this way, bitch. Okay, anyways. Which, it's not like my server is free, by the way. I don't enforce pay to play. In fact, I found out that's actually against Roblox, or not Roblox, against Minecraft's rules. So, maybe we'll do a little bit of off-roading here. I'm actually at the town hall for, I believe it's called St. Paul, is it? Brakes. Okay. Is that Jerica? No. The same car, though. Like exactly the same car, down to what was inside of it. A different person. Maybe she got carjacked. No, I'm not gonna say that, even if that was a possibility. I'll just go over here to town hall so I can show you what I'm talking about real quick. It's pretty funny. Alright, get out of there. See? It's their legitimate town hall. It's just really tiny. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, my server isn't free. Realms aren't free. So on that aspect of Minecraft being shitty, like people are saying, well, Realms would be the only option. Actually, I get what they're saying. I think you have to pay to even play on the Realms. I don't remember. Although, I don't think that's the case. I don't know. But anyways, what people are really afraid of is losing the mod community server. And I think they're I have this weird vibration going on and over here somewhere. I think they're forgetting that there's still the Forge server, which quite a few servers are running. I was running it for a couple moments. Like, when I say moments, I really mean days when I'm talking server administration. Notice how I can do that without spinning the tires? Yeah, I don't exactly have a back window to look out of. I do, but it's not very visible. Do that without spinning. There we go. I wouldn't have cared about spinning or drifting if there wasn't a car behind me. That buzz is bothering me. But anyways, yeah, so they're worried about losing their mods, really. Bucket. I mean, they're losing, or plugins is really what. And I understand that. I perfectly 100% understand that. I would be too, and I am. Only because that's a very cheaply raised truck, but at the same time, it looks really cool. Anyways, that's the first time I've seen a raised truck that doesn't look like shit. Oh, wow, this really should be 15. This is a tight turn. As I do 30. This car may not be very fast, but it can fucking corner because it has rock hard suspension. And it's pretty small too. But anyways, and there used to be seats back here. I took them out. Because at the time I really didn't want Devin as a passenger. And I can't seem to avoid that. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Well, I guess I should explain that now. I take my brother to and from school. Well, not from anymore. But when I was in high school with him, I used to. So the idea was, since I only had one other seat and he was in it, I would be able to avoid Devin. The reality is, Devin doesn't give a shit if I get a ticket or not, and has in the past just kind of forced me to take him sitting there. But anyways, so people are scared that if Bucket goes away, plugins will go away, and yeah, they will. And right now it's kind of this war for server hosting, or not hosting, server software, sorry. And all the ones based on the Bucket API. Bear in mind, CraftBucket is a server. Bucket is not. Bucket is just an API. Actually, I think I have been done. Oh yeah, I know where we are. Hang on. Oh wow, wait, hang on. I know where we are, but I didn't know we went. Wow, that's interesting. I've never gotten this way to this road using that. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Play that tune again, Bobby. I don't know. Oh yeah. So all the ones based on the Bucket API are subject to the DMCA. In fact, it's kind of stupid, and my true belief is that Wolf did not have the right to what he did, because in order to participate in the Bucket development, he had to agree to release his code to Bucket under whatever license they were going under. And even though Bucket was breaking licenses, they had to in order to get a server running. But anyways, as far as using his code unwillingly or unknowingly or against his copyright, that shit is not actually true. Because yeah, his code is copywritten or copyrighted. It's weird saying that word because it doesn't compute in my head. But the reality is, this road's a little slick. The reality is, he had to agree basically to a terms of service to even participate with Bucket. And what that means is, in order to be a part of Bucket, he had to say, one way or the other, in sort of one of those unwritten contracts, even though actually in this case it would be 100% written, that yes, Bucket, the second you contribute to their project, they own your code. Even you own the rights to your code, but they own, you own the copyright to your code, but they own the rights, and you automatically give them the permission to use it. So filing a DMCA for something he made for this project, that's just a bullshit move. That's just saying, now what it really means, you know, and I think, I'm trying to remember the exact details. I think it was something stupid like, if you don't make your code open source, and of course Bucket can't do that because it would break the agreement, the handshake between them and Mojang. The part they want open source, if I remember correctly, is the Minecraft server. The Minecraft server is an open source, and I don't see that really happening in the foreseeable future. Well, Microsoft makes some open source stuff, but let's face it. Actually, no, I take that back. I was gonna say, let's face it. on a product like Minecraft, why would you make it open source? And the answer is in itself, so you get a better community. So my suggestion for Microsoft would be right now, just go ahead and make it open source. Watch what happens. Because I mean, it's in Java, and nothing's going to stop anybody from just spending enough time and taking it out of its jar and building something. That's what Bukkit did. But if you make it to where it's already like that, there's already some sort of API, and you already have, like, you own Bukkit. You should anyways, if you bought Mojang. So if you make it a built-in functionality like it was supposed to be when Bukkit was bought, you can avoid all this shit. And then if somebody tries to sue you for it, fuck them. You just buy the rights to the software you already had. And if I understand correctly, Wolf actually, like, I believe worked for Mojang. I know he was a project contributor on Bukkit. Bear in mind, Bukkit, not Craft Bukkit, which is very important, because what that means is even though the project side of it, he should not be able to do that. The reality is, because he did it and is getting away with it so far, even though this is only like a month in the making, bear in mind, 96,666 miles. Well, actually, there's a 4 at the end, but whatever. That means that anybody who wants to build off Craft Bukkit has to remove all his code. Now, what this also means is anybody who contributed that wants to pull a bullshit move might get away with it, which means that Bukkit is, in that case, Bukkit's completely 100% dead, because what that means is all the code to Bukkit, since it's user-made, could be stripped instantaneously away from it. What does that leave Bukkit? Nothing. So that's why people are saying it's easier to make a new server. Now, like I said a couple minutes ago before I got off track, I believe, right now it's kind of a war of server software. There's way too many to list. I know one of them, one of the big ones people are talking about is Sponge. One of the ones I'm a little interested in is called Trident SDK, I believe. And then there's Project Rainbow and MC Server, I believe, is one. Which, by the way, I've used that in the past. I thought maybe it was Craft or something. I don't know, but that one's based on C++. I know it used to at least support Bukkit plugins. Now that's the other thing. All of these are coming up with their own API. Some of them are based on Bukkit, some are not, in order to avoid a lot of problems. But the issue is, the ones that are trying to add support for plugins, those are the ones, there's a bunch of them too, that you look at and they say, yeah, we have limited support for this, this, and this, and then developers, if whichever one chooses that one as their platform, if it's a big name plugin, you might be a little screwed. Because if that particular server does not take off and does not hold its ground for shit, maybe I should stop driving at like 60. And yeah, that's the speed limit. I just know my car is loud at that speed. If they don't hold ground with that type of server, then you're left with a big plugin that was either in development or finished that is no longer accessible to the common public, which is not good either. So SimGrounds right now is in the process of reviewing a bunch of different types of servers in an attempt to find one that'll fit us. I like Project Rainbow, I really do. I like MC Server, I've used it. Speeding a little bit. I thought it dropped down to 45, which it used to, but I guess they took that out. It used to go 60, 45, 55, and then like, just kind of stick around there. But anyways, so, yeah, so we're looking, Sponge is apparently the developers to Craft Bukkit, not Bukkit, Craft Bukkit, went to develop. I don't know if that's really the case, but in any scenario, or in any case, whatever, it is not finished. It's not playable at all, there's no demo, there's just a really good looking website and a lot of hope. And a lot of people thinking that's the answer. But the issue is there's a lot of people thinking a lot of the servers are the answer. Now, in the case of Spigit's kind of proven, you know, although they have only a protocol hack, they're proven. They made a big fuck you to Wolf not long ago by making binary patches But nonetheless, Spigot relies on Bucket, and I don't know what they're going to do about that. They say they're an independent project, but I know for a fact that they're, I mean, yeah, their code is independent from Bucket, but it's still sprung off of Craft Bucket and Bucket, so I don't know what they plan on doing. I don't know how long Sponge will be. I don't know how long Trident will be. So I'm actually, basically I'm narrowing it down to what server options already work. And I know Rainbow does. I know MC Server does. Although I haven't tested MC Server yet. I've been on a Rainbow demo server. And I know the guy who's updating it is updating it on a daily basis and used to make plugins for Bucket. So I have a little bit more hope in that. What's the other one? Let's see. Glowstone I tried. It's not finished. It's kind of unplayable. What else is there? There's I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing against Sponge, okay? I don't know what it's gonna take to get it off the ground. And because it's not owned by Mojang, I mean, Mojang didn't help Bucket in any way, like they said they were going to. I know that. So I don't know if it'll take longer, if it'll be shorter. It depends on how long. If the 1.8 updates last as long as 1.7, about a year, I can see some of these servers getting ground. That was gravel, but I hate it with that sound. Anyways, I can see these servers gaining ground and we see one start to dominate. And the funny thing is I had thought for the entire lifetime I was hosting, I should not just rely on Bucket. And there was several times I would switch around servers, but I always knew I was kind of fucked if anything were to happen to Bucket, because all these servers I was trying were still kind of based on it. So I had been planning for this for a long time, but the issue is there just really isn't any alternatives, any good ones anyways. Nothing against the guys developing them, believe me. I was working on a server. Oh wow, what the hell? That's a race Miata, I think, or maybe a drift Miata, I don't know. Nothing against those guys. I love their work. I understand how difficult it is. Like I said, I've actually had to make a server for a project, but it wasn't just any kind. It had to be written basically in Python. It had to run on a Raspberry Pi, and to make matters even more difficult, I did not own a Raspberry Pi at the time. I was using an emulator. So I hope that guy isn't. Oh, he's got a flat. Maybe I'll help him. I don't have a knife on me, so I don't want to. I mean, typically you can't fake a flat, but still, I don't want to accidentally walk into a situation, a hostile situation. It's on the side of. I'll probably still help him one way or the other. I don't have much, but anyways, if I come back and he's still there, I'm gonna help him. Back on topic. So, all the Bucket plugins. Question is, what happens to them? Well, that depends on who dominates. There's a lot of really good cars out here for some reason. Maybe you get a really good car in a shit house. Basically it's all based on which server dominates, which server takes over, how easy it is to develop for them, etc. And if all the new servers keep using the same API that Craft Bucket does in order for plugins, you'll start seeing one common problem, and that is I don't know how they're going to be able to keep updated, because is that a stretched and slammed long bed pickup? I think it is. I should have went down that road. Anyways, if Craft Bucket can't update because they don't have the rights to code they own, then how are the guys running off the same API going to update, because they rely on that API? So I don't know. I don't see any of the servers. If Craft Bucket goes down for legal reasons and stays down and nobody can rescue it for the very same reason, and I know there's, oh yeah, that reminds me, there's Wolf in a Bucket. There's a couple other servers that are basically just Bucket that are being revived and then taking out all the illegal code. I have a lot of hope in those projects just because it's one of those, you want the community to be able to do something about it. You kind of want to see these guys thrive. You hope it works thing. You don't care how far they get, you just want to see them make some progress. At least that's how I feel. It's kind of, it's a moral thing. It's like when people, it's how people are think they're supposed to feel about the military, I guess, or the government. They're going off to save your ass and fight for you so you can keep your freedom. So the least you can do is fucking be proud or something. I don't know. But this is from a computer point, so I actually give a little bit of a shit. And it kind of involves money I've spent, so it also matters to me. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't see anybody using the craft bucket or fork of a craft bucket or fork of bucket. I don't see any of those, if it goes down, taking over. Now, you know what Wolf might be doing, which would be kind of stupid. Nobody really gets his motivation though, so. But what he might be doing is turning around and saying, I'm going to eliminate craft bucket. I'm going to make my own sort of bucket thing since I own all the code now. And we'll just go this way. In which case, he might be doing this just to get rid of any competition. I don't know. Oh wow, gas is kind of cheap here. $2.85. I keep losing my train of thought because it's kind of early in the morning. That would still be pretty dick. I don't know why I would do that. So, I don't know. Nobody quite knows what the fuck is going on with them. I'm not even sure. You know, no, there's not really a legitimate motivation to sit there and take a project you were a part of. Apparently, you spent like 30 months helping create this thing, and then just ripping it apart for what gain? I mean, I don't think you can get any money. I mean, I believe the terms of the DMCA were as follows: release the code and make it open source to code you do not have the right to do that to, or take down it. That's the end of the story. But like I said, that doesn't make any sense because, I don't know. Licensing and legal shit is a weird, complicated thing. What I never understood is, if you run under a license that allows you to freely distribute it, or distribute, I don't know, distribution center? Yeah, distribute. And you're supposed to have it open source, but you don't own the code. I don't know. I don't know why, if a license requires you to have an open source, it's a big deal. Well, I know why, never mind. But I'm trying to think of how to word that. If you use code that is not open source and you did not write, why is it a big deal that it's not open source? And here's another one. If he's going to make it where you either have to have that code, and I can't remember if it's the code he wrote or not, open source, why is that a big deal? Why is it a big deal that his code be open source? Just because it's a licensing thing, and as I understand, he never really went by his own license anyways? I don't know. I really don't know. So there's more to it, I know. And it could be, I doubt this, but it could be his attempt to make this thing open source legitimately and maybe get some help. I don't think that's the case though. So I don't know. I personally am really considering Rainbow MC server, I believe it is, and what's the other one? There's a couple other ones. Glowstone, if they can get their act together. Right now they don't really support 1.8 blocks. Spigot, maybe. I doubt it. But I don't know. I'm tied between a bunch of servers. I like Trident, but the problem is I don't have anything to go off of because they don't. Again, they're like Sponge. They're in development, and I don't know how long it'll be before I get any demo. So it's kind of a big motorhome, or not a motorhome, caravan for you British, trailer for American, or actually I think we still call them RVs or something like that. Camping trailer? I don't know. Valvoline, instant oil change. I should go there and just drive through it and be like, hey, my oil didn't change, you pricks. I don't know. So it's a big deal. A lot of shit going on. Not much that can be done about it right now. I don't know, it's just a bunch of bullshit. And wow, it's $2.90. Purser's Exxon, and it's like 10 cents more here. Whatever. There's not a lot that can be done. I don't know what's gonna happen to Minecraft. I doubt. Is that a fire? I think it is. I doubt Microsoft would make it Realms only, or something where the community cannot host their own. So that's a fire. I can smell it. I highly doubt Microsoft would be stupid enough to make it where you could not host a server independently of Microsoft. That just wouldn't be a good idea. This middle lane I thought was for switching lanes. Apparently it's not. Oh wow, gravel. Shit. I gotta be careful here. Lowry Crossing. I think that's how you say that. Lowry. Oh, I know exactly where I am. I was with my dad on the well, he was on the Harley. I was on a different bike. Anyways. Yeah, I know how to get around this road. Anyways. Lowry Crossing Fire Department, Raffle. Oh, I thought that was saying that is the fire department. And I was like, well, those are big water tanks, but I don't think that's the case. Anyways. So, just a bunch of fucking bullshit. I'm getting out of the lane because, of course, this thing slides and I don't know. Well, not this car. The road is like all over the place. I'm getting a text message, not about to check that because that would be stupid. And I have a wristband reflecting that. Wasn't supposed to rhyme. I do have faith. Whoa! Unpaved road. I do have faith that Minecraft will continue, and I do have faith that there will always be a modded server. Like I said a long time ago, in this video anyways. There still is Forge and a couple other servers. It's not like Bucket was the only thing. In fact, Forge was actually kind of taken off. So, if anything, plugins will just become mods, but the biggest issue with Forge is it's one of those, your client has to have it too. Kind of like Spout, but the difference is Spout, you don't have to have, usually, unless you set it that way, so it doesn't really help. So, unless Forge makes it where you can somehow have mods that don't require client mods, I don't know. And the other issue with Forge, if I remember correctly, is it kind of injects into the stock Minecraft vanilla server, which, I don't know how many of you realize this, I know it from personal experience, but that is the most inefficient server ever. Like I said in a couple videos, I don't know if any of them went on YouTube, the 1.8 server, I was testing on SimGrounds before I put it back to the Bucket 1.79. I could run like 2 or 3 players and it would eat all my RAM. Strobe effect. I can't tell what kind of car that is, or truck rather, but anyways, I could not, like, if I tried to do any more, it just lagged terribly. Now that might be a Java thing too, because I noticed the first time I started it up, the result was, that's a dick place to put a truck for sale. It looks like you're trying to pull out. The first result was, yeah, I got some text on the screen and shit, but I had a lot of problems. It wouldn't start and stuff. And I think that, if I remember correctly, that was related to port issues. I don't remember. And of course, for whatever reason, at the time, I basically went to Minecraft.net. I was like, oh, okay. 1.8 came out, I guess, I don't know, maybe a month ago, about the same time that the previous year 1.7 had come out and kind of screwed us over. So I was like, oh, no big deal, I'll get the vanilla server, kind of wait for the Bucket server to hang on, I hate slowing down to awkward speeds. I'll just wait for Bucket to update, no big deal. And so I think I eventually went and checked on Bucket and found out. It took me a little bit to really figure this out, but all the legal shit was going down. It didn't really, I think I vaguely read it and then kind of just ignored it. I thought it had something, like when they said the way Wesley acted in public was unacceptable, so I thought they were talking about on Twitter or some shit, or some public thing he said that, for example, you get those spokespersons and stuff that say something offensive and it pisses everybody off and it's a news article and shit. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like, I figured it was a Mojang case where it was something to do with someone from Mojang and they said something, I don't know, maybe regarding the Microsoft thing or something. I don't know what I thought. But I figured it was basically some thing where, I can't think of something offensive, like, basically, I thought it was one of their employees, which it was. Current employee, though. I didn't think it was a former. And then I thought that maybe they just got out of hand on public. Oh, the dog is chasing me. On public. Holy shit, that guy's texting. Holy fuck. Oh shit. Dude, get off your fucking phone, you twat. That's creepy. It's not the first time that's happened, but it's the first time it's happened to me in this car. So, It's a little harder to dodge people who get in your lane and you're halfway in, or they're halfway in your lane, because there's not much more you can do. So, yeah, anyways, not gonna die today. At least I'd like to think so. So, that's what I thought it was. I did a lot more reading, found out what it really was. Put my server back to 1.7.9. I think I was actually looking for the 0.10 update or something like that, because I figured. And the other thing is, I think I remember reading Dinnerbone or something saying, I'll update Bukkit myself. Well, you know, I really wasn't sure what the deal was with that, because I hadn't read the legal shit. And I think that was actually before the legal shit, but I thought to myself, what the hell? I mean, I guess you guys are supposed to own Bukkit. You're supposed to be helping them. Why is this suddenly, I'm going to update it personally instead of let the team do their thing? It sounded a little weird, so. But yeah, the 1.8 vanilla server is really inefficient. I don't know if it's because of my Java or what, but it just ran horribly when I tested it. And that was not long ago. I don't even think it was like a week or so ago. So I'm finding out about all this shit about a month after it happened, and from what I understand, most of the stuff that happened is hasn't really gotten any updates. Like most of the legal stuff, there's nothing new yet. A lot of it's still from September, so, which I think there's a timestamp on how a DMCA works if you don't go to court. So this might have been just a stupid thing to halt everything. And what's funny is there's a lot of people, when, like, there's two teams really that got hit by the DMCA, if I understand correctly. One of them was the Spigot team, and one of them was the Craft Bukkit team. And what I understand is this: those two had to cease downloads. Spigot decided to change it to where we'll give you a patcher, but we can't give you the other thing, so download it legally, which secretly does not, which obviously meant search it in quotation marks and then find it in Pirate Bay or something. I don't know. So, and now apparently Bukkit is dead. That's what I've been reading. But what's really weird is if Bukkit's dead, you'd think that they were hitting him hard with legal shit. And I know that they've got lawyers and shit, and they originally, I think they suggested, yeah, just create a counterclaim or something like that. Or, let's see, DMCA claim request, I don't know what it's called. Something along that line. But create a counter DMCA, basically. Stating, nope, you're wrong, and unless you go to court, we can post this shit, I guess is how it works. And I know Spigot was about to do that. They had it prepared, but they didn't. I don't know why. I guess they thought, you know what, wait a minute. If Bukkit's not going to do this, why should we? Because it's not going to gain us anything if Bukkit won't do anything. Or, sorry, Craft Bukkit. That's what I think they thought. I don't know. So they're all paying these hefty lawyer fees and shit to get all this, I don't know, I would say sorted out, but I honestly don't know. So, neither one of them can post an official build, other than, well, in Spigot's case, they can post patches. But I just think that if Craft Bukkit, since it is, and I'm not sure, I don't remember if it's Bukkit or Craft Bukkit now that I think about it, that's owned by Mojang. I thought it was both. I thought. Ew. I'm pretty sure it's Craft Bukkit. I don't know if it's just Bukkit though. So, I don't know. You'd think that Mojang's owned this company, or this group, for like 2 years now, and hasn't done anything to help them. In fact, I think their first public anything was the other day, or not the other day, but whenever one of their last posts was, which basically said, hey, you don't know me, but I'm an admin here, and by the way, I work for Mojang, and he actually came out and said, we don't do shit to help these guys, so, Fig Drive, like Fig Newton Drive. I don't know. There's the part of me that thinks to myself, and when Mojang bought Craft Bukkit, I thought, great, that's awesome for me. That's awesome for everybody. That means they're going to have synchronized updates. we're gonna get a lot of shit fixed real quick because, of course, creators of Minecraft bought a company or a team or a project, whatever you want to call it, that is making a third-party thing without official help or anything. So I figured, you know, that's got to be good, right? Well, yeah, if it worked out to be, but since they didn't give them any help, it really just turned into this huge mess. And when I say no help, no financial help, no coding help, no legal help, none of that. No source code. It's all still based on bucket guessing. Now, I've played a lot of games where it's based on where the best experience is not vanilla, and there's a lot of hard work and dedication. And here's what I know from experience. This is why I'm not sure Craft Bucket's gonna die. Second Life, one of the big viewers was called Emerald. And if you're not sure what Emerald is, it's probably because you weren't there when it happened. But basically, Second Life, something happened where Emerald Viewer had to shut down everything. Not much later, they came back up, and I think it was another legal issue. They came back up with something called Firestorm, or sorry, yeah, Firestorm and Phoenix. I used Phoenix for a long time. It was basically the older viewer look with some new functionality. They had to finally discontinue it. But anyways, so they came out with Phoenix and ran that for years. Emerald was running for years anyways. Phoenix ran for years. Firestorm is still running. And they were a big, and I mean big fucking project. They were about as big, if not bigger, than Craft Bucket. So they were unpaid, completely volunteer, same sort of deal. And they managed to make it through and recode everything and get it to work and be within supposed compliance of Second Life. I've seen the opposite happen though. I've seen a lot of viewers that were fucked over when they got out of compliance one way or the other. So, I don't know. But the reality is, the team for Craft Bucket is gone. But Mojang owns Craft Bucket, which means that even with the team gone, if they want to, and I know they will, they can easily just bring some people in. And now that they're owned by Microsoft, that's going to be even easier to fucking take over and get this shit fixed. Microsoft has enough money to just go up to Wolf and say, fuck you, and buy the rights. Microsoft as a company easily could turn around and say, no, Craft Bucket is now closed source, or no, it is open source, or no, get the fuck... Oh, I thought that was a dump truck that it had its thing down. Or no, get the fuck out of here, you don't own shit. This is community-based. And a lot of people, including myself, believe that that's what Microsoft would do, because that is a smart business move. It may cost money, it may be difficult. I don't think it is, because I'm pretty sure Wolf is just an individual. I'd like to think that that cop would not turn around for me coming up a hill 5 over 60. And it was more like 4 over. But anyways, it would be a smart business move. It can't possibly be difficult, because I'm pretty sure Wolf is an individual who can't possibly have the kind of money required to stay afloat legally in terms of all the legal fees and the lawyers and everything like that. There's just no way. And if you put him up against a big company like Mojang, which is now a child company of Microsoft that probably has lawyers working around the clock for Microsoft, just sitting in their office twiddling their thumbs and getting paid $400 an hour, because that's how Microsoft works. They have people on duty, and the second you fuck with them, they're just like, hey John. Yeah, Steve? Fix this legal issue. I'm already done. I already found out about... Oh, great. Here's $400 more an hour. You're now making $800 an hour. Thank you very much, Steve. You're welcome. You're welcome. Make sure it doesn't happen again. And that's exactly how it works. Google, which by the way, their whole slogan, Google's whole thing, if you didn't know, is don't be evil. So Google, Apple especially, Samsung, any big name company has even fucking Republic Title, which I'm not going to go into details about, but I know a lot about that company. Well, not really. I don't really know that much, but I know enough to say that I understand how their infrastructure works, because, well, I'm not going to say why, actually. I can assure you it's legal, 100% legal. And it's not actually anything I did, it's just, yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. But anyways, any big respectable company is going to have on-site lawyers, especially ones that deal with portfolios. And what I mean is patent portfolios. So Microsoft has ridiculously big pockets. To pay someone $400, hell, fuck, to pay someone $3,000 an hour, that's nothing to them. They could do that all day, all night, 400, 500 people like that, and it wouldn't matter to them at all. They wouldn't notice, because their big customers, their enterprise level, the ones that pay the $3,000 a license per CPU, those guys, they don't really have a choice. They're stuck with Microsoft. So, I don't need fourth gear for this, who am I kidding? Or third, sorry. And considering the fact that they paid $2.5 billion for Mojang, that should tell you that they're not just buying Mojang for the sake of getting it on their Windows phone. No. Because they could just talk to Notch. No, I know Notch approached them and said, hey, you want to buy this? But at the same time, the reason that they gave them that much money is to make sure nobody could buy them. Because they clearly want to take Minecraft, and I would say they want to make it a monopoly, but I'm pretty sure they don't. They want to take it and make sure that thing does not die. So I would not be the least bit surprised if Microsoft is secretly planning a fucking huge counter DMCA that fucks Wolf over or something, or is just secretly recoding Bucket or something. And this is, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Wolf was hired by Microsoft to do this just so people wouldn't get the old Bucket downloads or Craft Bucket downloads in an effort to keep them up to date. What's the speed here? I think 50, because there's a cop. Hello, cop. How are you doing, officer? I think that might have been a constable. If it is, I'm fine. I'm going down a hill. Give me some leeway here. My car doesn't exactly have that much engine braking. But anyways. So, I don't know. I think legitimately that they're not going to go to Realms only. I just don't see how that would work. If they're really going to keep to their word, and I would assume that they are, I think Notch gave the company to someone he truly feels would take it in the right direction and not fuck it over for everybody. Not sure, whatever happens, happens. But I truly do believe that Microsoft, what a lot of people don't know about Microsoft is they are in the open source business. They do have a lot of projects they've bought and taken very good care of. I don't know, I mean, I know there's a distinct hatred of Apple, Microsoft, and a lot of big companies like that. They're like, but I met one guy yesterday on the forums who's like, oh, I don't dare use Microsoft, I use Ubuntu. All right, well, there's that weird, oh, I know what that sound is. I just now figured it out. That's my speedometer, which means I have a cable-driven speedometer. Speedometer, which is not good. Because what that really means is it'll end up like my motorcycle and the cable will break. Seems to only do it at low speed though. Anyways, so I'm a firm believer that Bucket is not 100% dead, and that it would be, I know it's up to Microsoft at this point because they're the only ones that can come up with a team for this, but I truly do believe that they would not switch over to a completely closed platform. I mean, look, Flight Simulator X, or Flight Simulator in general, is the oldest running game in the history of gaming that is still maintaining everything else. Not Mario Brothers. I know, go look it up. It's a fact. And it's owned by Microsoft, created by Microsoft, and it's community managed. Now, sure, the game does require kind of a hefty fee to buy, but it's all community managed. And I believe it's also used by actual flight simulators, if I'm not mistaken. That's one project they have, one game they have. I know they don't have a lot of games, but that's a good example. So, I don't know, I haven't played it in a short enough time frame to remember, but I'm pretty sure the servers are still community owned. I'm not entirely, don't quote me on that, I don't remember. But basically, even if they're not community owned, they're not pay to play like Realms is. I think Realms is a great idea in terms of the motivation behind it, but I think it's a horrible idea in the terms of the fact that it is pay to play. which is not like servers are any different. I mean, it's just a server you can buy straight through Minecraft. So, but I really do feel like even if they did all this, I know the community would find some way to mod and make it where you can have third-party servers, which, and if that does happen, obviously it would be you have to mod your client to do kind of thing. And then servers like the Forge server and shit, they would be viable, because of course you already have to have a modded client at that point. I can't seem to do 35. I need to do less than that. There we go. Okay. I was doing like 40 for some reason. What was I saying? So, and the other thing I know I was reading, people are like, well, yeah, well, these servers, you know, they could just stay on whatever version is the last version, I guess 1.7.9, release candidate 2 or whatever it is, and then their players could downgrade, which is certainly an option. And then somebody else argued, well, then it would be it could turn into a big piracy thing because you'd have to illegally download the old Minecraft, because they would shut down the login servers that allow, and then you'd have to host a server illegally to where it'd be an offline type server. And I'm thinking to myself, see, the issue is I already do that, so everybody can play, anybody who wants to try Minecraft. And I think at that point, if it really did happen where Microsoft destroyed the game, why do I keep doing 45? I can't seem to, I don't know. Where Microsoft somehow destroyed the game to the point of where you had to download an old version and then play offline and this, that, and the other just to fucking enjoy a player-owned modded server. And then somebody said, well, then the plugins would be taken down because Microsoft would find out about Bukkit and blah blah. And I'm like, and then somebody else said, well, we could just back up all the plugins. And yeah, you could, but let's take a moment to step back and think about this for a sec. Why? And people are also saying that Microsoft probably doesn't even know CraftBukkit exists, which I think is highly unlikely. Why would Microsoft do that, honestly? What would that gain them? I'm pretty sure they know damn good and well that the sales of the PC game are not going to get any better. They realize that. It's not going to just magically keep selling and selling and selling, especially if they keep doing this. Their only way to make they're expecting to make a return investment, so their only way to do that would be what they supposedly are planning on doing, and that is letting the community do its thing. Now, I don't know what degree they plan on doing that. It depends. If they plan on doing it to the point of where the community manages everything mod-wise, because that's the other thing people are forgetting. All the people who are saying they're not going to allow custom servers, they're forgetting the fact that Microsoft specifically said, let's see, we're going to keep letting you do mods. And I think I think this is speculation what I'm about to say. I don't remember, but I think they also said we're going to make it easier to mod. So they could have shut down CraftBukkit for that purpose, so that they can say, you know, multiplayer modding will never be the same or something. And here, we're going to make it 10 times easier and make a solid API, or I don't know. It's not like they're just going to get rid of all this shit. So I was a little surprised that that lasted that long.